I am the default position. I am what I was allowed to be. I am what was honored. I am what was safe. If you think of trailblazers, in the beginning, we are always a little frightened, or it's not the norm, it's not consensus. These people doing strange things. And some might literally be strange, but some might just be opening up new pathways. So look inside of yourself. If there is, even though you believe yourself to be a free being, is there anywhere you are held by your own conditioning, fear of exposure, trauma, or consensus? So coming back to the first analogy that we used, if you think of yourself like a Gruyere piece of cheese, the holes are empty spaces, or if you'd like, blocked spaces, which aren't accessible to our consciousness. It's like, I don't know, if you're overweight and you have a skimpy something, you go, oh, I'm not going to wear that until I get back to my perfect shape. There's this waiting aspect to say, okay, I'll get to that later. I'll integrate that trauma and then I'll be free. So imagine, if you know what it is, perfect. But if you don't, imagine that they are places within your consciousness that are just not accessible. You have put up a barrier, or consensus has put up a barrier, or your family conditioning has put up a barrier. And you're working and you're functioning perfectly okay. And here is, what if all of you was accessible? And first of all, does that sound like a good thing or a hard thing? Because it could be all the gifts, but all the turmoil, all the drama. But your body is a memory bank. It remembers absolutely everything, even if your consciousness doesn't. Being in the body is the only true being in the present. The emotions, the mind, even spirituality goes to the future and goes to the past. There we go. So settle within your physical being. And become aware of these places. You might notice it if you're watching a film and the parts that annoy you, or you want to make them go faster. If you're on a platform that you can do that, or jump ahead. What are the parts that make you uncomfortable? And if it's in a movie and it makes you uncomfortable, it's because you are mirroring. So let's say um, I'm watching a film and there's scenes of infidelity. I find that quite hard personally, And so it makes me nervous. I'd like to skip forward. But what is it? So there could be a trauma there from what I've lived, not necessarily my own story, but it's activating something in me. So that's a space where I do not have sovereignty. It is a space that is governing me. It is not me holding the space within me as an integrated aspect. Just an example for you to get on board. Okay. So that means from that place, I will not be authentic. I cannot function as a free being because there is an issue. I might manage it really well, and it might actually be considered a noble uncomfortableness because fidelity is a good thing. But is that then a choice, or is it I can't do anything else but that because it makes me feel uncomfortable? So this is just an example. Find your own. And if not, just imagine you have 3 or 4 or 5 or 12 holes in your Gruyere cheese body. And through intent, we're going to fill in these holes so that we can be thoroughly authentic. Not running from something, not running towards, not doing what is consensus considered to be right. Here we go. And no judgment. It just is what it is, and you adapt. So while adapting was a good way to be, now it's all about integration as much as possible. So your connected self knows perfectly well how to overcome this issue. But because there's a trauma there, it's null and void. So just allow your authentic being to fill these spaces within your consciousness. So imagine allowing the energy to fill up the places of trauma that are still held, the ones that your consciousness feels ready to fill up. And look at it from this place of compassion. Trauma is a healing response mechanism. Might not be the best one, So it's a bit like I don't have a latch on my window, so I might just board it up because otherwise it's going to fly open. It's a solution. It's not the best. And you might annul some form of light coming in or consciousness. So from a place of compassion that we did what we considered the best possible way to deal with what was. There we go. So imagine this area of trauma if you had your full awareness available, connected to the quantum field. You would be fully available for a different way of treating this aspect and connected to the source energy. But seeing it's a bubble, it's an empty space, it is a void. It confuses you. It it unsettles you. So with intent and with loving, compassionate energy, fill in these areas if you can. Allow your higher self to guide this integration as if it were doing like a lymphatic drainage, if you'd like to bring awareness and at least a thread more awareness or some form of access to these null spaces. Allow your nervous system, you're rewiring the energetics to fill in these spaces, that they don't create angst or worry or pain, suffering. Usually places that don't have energy will be more prone to accidents, to illnesses, just because it's not full of energy. focus on one empty space and just imagine it filling up. More than all the whole, just imagine one and finding a way to access it. Use your imagination, your creativity, and allow it to fill up. By playing this way with energy and with consciousness, you are telling your being that you would like to be fully integrated as much as possible so that your identity can move freely, responding or creating from a place of freedom and not from a place of consensus or trauma-induced consciousness. There we go. So just to give an example, imagine you are driven to be successful. Is it through the joy of creating what you are creating and giving back to society? Or is it to prove to someone or a parent or a group that you made it? One is going towards your dream from a place of freedom, and the other one is to prove a point. So that's the rebelliousness, that's the defiancy that I'm talking about. Can you be a fully integrated being, moving on inspiration and creativity and kindness and instinct rather than reactive behavior and the ego wanting to prove things? Again, it's no judgment. Creating success from any aspect is good, but it doesn't feel quite as nice as when it's from the freedom. There we go. Now use your imagination to see, to feel, to perceive, just to push it out there. What would it be like if I could truly be this authentic self? So not rebellious, not conforming, but just true to self. And then what possibility is available for you to live from that aspect, to live from that space, from that consciousness. When you ask yourself what possibilities are available to you, does it feel very far away, inaccessible? Or can you imagine some form of consciousness starting to weave the possibility that it can bring it closer? There we go. What possibility of being this authentic, free being is available to me? If I can fill in these empty spaces or these spaces that are not available to me. So imagine all the energy that's there, the consciousness that's just being tied up and isn't available. Bring it back. So at one point you were complete, whether it was when you were 2 or 3 or it was in a different state of consciousness. But remember what it felt like to have your full consciousness on board. And then also to remember you have survived the traumas. You are alive. So they had no full power over you. It's just the fear or the uncomfortableness or the perceived pain that it would cause you to revisit these places. So just become aware that you are alive, that they are there in your body and you still function. What if they could be filled with a bit more consciousness, awareness, love, light, understanding, care. Very good. Okay. Just a little bit more. What possibility is available to me to feel fully integrated, aware of these spaces where I don't access energy? I'm fearful, or I avoid, or I get frightened, or I get angry. What possibility is available to me to feel fully integrated? And my full being online, present, is available to me that I wasn't aware of. Beautiful. Okay. So deep breath in and come on back.